Hello, this video is to show the basic setup and operation of the Scuffed Computer Improviser. Today is April 6, 2021, and this is the new version from that date. So I'll start by just showing the files. So these are all the files that are required. The only file required to use the patch to open is the first one marked up here, and if you want to record in multi-track, then the second one is for routing. If you are controlling the patch remotely on someone else's computer, there are networked controls down here that you can use as well. But these are the two main files you'll need, and probably only this first one. So let's open it up. There we go. So here is the main interface here. Let's close all these extra windows. There we go. We might reopen them a bit later. So this is what it looks like when it first opens. You will need one dependency from the package manager, which is the ML star dependency. So ML star here from Benjamin D. Smith for the Markov chain. So getting it up and running is fairly straightforward. We might have a little audio weirdness when I first turn it on. I'll have to switch my audio inputs for the recording of this video. But basically all you'll need to do is hit initialize, set your microphone level to how you like it, and then you can start training and playing with improvisers. One other note before I do that, for audio settings, these are my recommended settings. The sampling rate of 48 is necessary to minimize click sounds from the sort of granular envelopes that happen in there. 512, 128 seems to work very nicely for me and keep sort of a healthy CPU limit. And schedule overdrive and audio interrupt are also important. These settings down here are particular to my setup. Presumably it will just be channel 1 is channel 1 and channel 2 is channel 2 for anyone else. So I'll hit initialize now, and now I'm going to turn up the microphone level and then switch my mic input for the video. Okay, great. So now I'm actually recording the audio through the patch, and I'm coming in a tiny bit hot, so I might just turn myself down a little bit, but turn the amplification up a little bit for the sake of the recording. Okay, so here we'll see attack detection operating. And don't feel when you're using it that you need to have every single attack detected. The patch is sort of optimized in a way where sometimes it wants to hear whole musical phrases rather than each individual note. So if I go da, you see how it's a little bit glitchy. That's part of the sort of scuffed nature of it, and it helps give it it gives it a little bit of character. In any case, if you see it going off at all, then you know that things are working reasonably well. I'm going to leave off the compressor and EQ. Here we have the speaker array. It's set at stereo, but it can do anywhere between 1 and 6 speakers. Down here is a networking if someone is controlling all the different parts of the patch at a distance. And then I'm using the MC DAC, the multi-channel DAC object here. I would encourage, if you have your own sort of global reverb or global effects that you'd like to use, you can always unpack this signal into 2 signals and insert some, whatever VSTs you have. But I want this to be sort of as universally usable as possible, without third-party anything. So it is just a bare input and output. Okay, so how this works basically is that it's an audio corpus-based improviser, so it must be trained with audio. So if I click the train, it'll start listening to me, and so now it's recording, and it's also analyzing me as I'm speaking. And so I just feed it a little bit more audio, and then I can turn off the training, and if I turn on the improviser after that, it will start reacting to what I'm doing in a variety of ways. So there it's trained, and now I'll turn it on. So you'll
from
probably
training.
So now it's reacting, analyzing. So it's
off the training,
audio, and then on the improviser training, and so analyzing. So now it's also it'll start. So now I'll turn it off. Sometimes there's a little bit of trail in terms of its improvisation because it'll have like a process set in motion. I just feed it a little bit more audio, and then I can turn off the training. And if I turn on the improviser after that, it will start reacting to what I'm doing in a variety of ways. Yeah, so it's played a longer segment there at the end, which was sort of funny. So you can do that with each of these. So there are basically 4 improvisers that can all run simultaneously. You can turn them on and off as you like. And then if you want to get a little bit more granular in terms of how they're acting, you can open up the behaviors window here. And there are, I think, 10 or so different behaviors. One that's still I'm working on. So when the toggle in the main window is off, you can still turn each of these on individually. So I'll just turn on the doubler, and so every attack it detects, it'll do something. A little bit. So now it's audio, and then I analyzing me. Then there's the Markov imitator, which will just kind of spit out sound that is somewhat like how I was delivering it to begin with in the learning phase. On the audio, and then on the little board, a little bit more on that, it will start reacting. Yeah, so sort of interesting when it's a spoken word, it garbles it all up. The matcher, 2 leaders. The leaders just generate sound like crazy without really even listening to what you're doing. It'll take into account register, but that's sort of it. And then there's a few gestures that are currently not connected. I found it was too noisy to use those. So if I go into any of these, you can see sort of the programming of it, and anyone's free to sort of mess around with the behaviors as well. So that's the basic operation. And yes, please download, try it, enjoy it. Let me know what you think. Thank you.